This Week in East Brunswick. This week, John Magliaro and student Matt Giglia talk about a summer baseball camp for teens. The Mayor's annual scholarship golf tournament is just around the corner. The library is in the midst of some renovations. And the Recreation Department previews upcoming Friday night programs. These stories and more are up next, including information about the Daisy Fashion Show, an excerpt from September's Let's Talk Health, and our regular council review. But first, here's Channel 8's program schedule for next week. Monday morning, there is no cablecast due to the Labor Day holiday, but tune in to Channel 8 Tuesday evening at 7:30 when Paul Hansen learns how to profit from ideas on You and Your Money. At 8 o'clock, join Chamber of Commerce President John Runyon for Business Bylines. Wednesday evening, Lenore Kulik builds biceps on Look Great, Feel Great at 7 o'clock. And at 7:30, get a complete overview of the East Brunswick Public Schools on Spotlight on Education. And teen entrepreneurs break into the business world at 8 o'clock on 18 Growing Up in East Brunswick. Thursday evening brings a new edition of This Week in East Brunswick, and at 7:30, Ken Shalhoub speaks with the Dean of the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey on Let's Talk Health. Saturday cablecasts begin again on September 8th. Be sure to tune in to the Channel 8 Community Bulletin Board for the Saturday schedule and for community announcements.
Former New York Mets second baseman Ron Hunt was in town last week to give a clinic to area ball players. East Brunswick High School senior Matt Giglia plays on Hunt's national touring team, and Channel 8's John Magliaro had a chance to ask Matt about his experience.
Matt, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with Ron Hunt's team.
Well, my father was listening to WFAN,
Right.
and Ron Hunt was doing an interview, and he was explaining which positions he needed for this summer's team.
Mm-hmm.
And my father got in touch with him, and he talked to my athletic director, my coach, and he accepted me.
Great. What was your first thought when you heard that you were going to go play for Ron Hunt and have to move away for the summer? And
Well, I didn't think it was that big until I got out there,
Okay.
and I realized I was so far away and
yeah.
so long of a time.
Now you're going to be a senior at East Brunswick High School.
Yes.
And you played this year, obviously. How'd you do this year?
I did pretty good for school.
Mm-hmm.
Hit around 300. Played pretty good in the field.
What differences have you noticed since you've been at Ron's camp?
Well, there's a lot better competition
Okay.
out in Missouri.
Okay.
Play a lot harder,
Mm-hmm.
more games. And
How about you personally? I mean, in terms of your fundamentals, what have you improved on? What?
I improved on blocking the ball when a ball was hit to me, and
Okay.
making accurate throws, not necessarily hard ones to first, but just
Mhm.
accurate ones. And batting, I was in a slump, and Ron pointed out something in my swing, and I started to hit the ball well.
Okay. What were you doing? Hitching?
Yeah, I
What
was.
they call hitching?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a hitch in my swing.
How'd you straighten it out?
Well, I would bring my bat up, and I wouldn't get around on the ball, and Ron just said drive through it,
Mhm.
and you won't have the hitch. And I started hitting the ball good.
Great. How does it feel to play baseball day in and day out? I mean, you're a
Well-
young guy, good-looking guy. I'm sure there are other interests you might have.
Well, when you're out there, there's nothing else to do but play baseball. But it was good until we got to the 8 games in 2 days, and we were really tired and everything, and then everybody was tired, and then we started winning a lot,
Mhm.
and the team liked it, so we kept wanting to play more and more, and we enjoyed it a lot.
So it kind of gets in your blood, and then you
Yeah.
can't get enough of it.
Yeah,
You were telling me before we did this interview that you played at Shea Stadium today.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we played a doubleheader today at Shea. We started at 10 in the morning, and we got out there, and it was really an experience to play out there.
Kind of a lifelong dream.
Pretty much, yeah, to play in Major League's ballpark.
Did you look at the ground to be sure that it was actually, you know,
Yeah,
the turf? And
yeah, the grass was like a fairway on a golf course.
Yeah.
It was just so everything was great.
Matt, what's your aspirations in terms of your own personal goals?
Well, I hope to go to college and play baseball, and hopefully play baseball after college.
Do you think it was worth your time and effort to go out with Ron Hunt and
Yes,
be with
yeah.
him?
I learned a lot more out there than I would have around here, I think.
Yeah, highly recommend it then.
Yes.
Well, Matt, we'll follow you next year, next spring, when the baseball season comes around for East Brunswick High School, and we wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you.
This is John Migliaro for This Week in East Brunswick.
Hi, my name is Karen Burke. I'm manager of East Brunswick Division of Recreation, and with me today is Jim Musicowski, the coordinator of the Friday night live program for handicapped, disabled, challenged populations. We'd like to just give you an update on what's been going on in this program for 1990 and what's on the horizon very shortly. So Jim, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Well, Karen, our summer program is very well received. Attendance was up from the spring from about 49 people to 63.
Wow.
And so what we did is we challenged our staff and with management assistance to come up with a fall program that was innovative and would be enough fun to keep that trend going, where we're able to serve more of our challenged population in East Brunswick and surrounding neighborhoods.
Good. Maybe you could tell us what's going on. And we have to remember, by the way, to tell everyone that the registration deadline date is August 31st, which is this coming Friday. So everybody listen up so that you don't have to pay that extra $5 late fee.
That's right. And this is a fall program you certainly wouldn't want to miss. On Friday, September 7th, we're starting by going to Waterworks in Seaside Park, and I've been down there. It's quite exciting. There's also some mellow rides for our less adventuresome participants. The following week, we're going to go bowling, and then after that over to Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor for desserts. That should be a fun local night. We are off for a few weeks for holidays and vacation time after that. And then in October we come back with a trip to Playhouse 22.
What day in October is that, Jim?
That would be Friday, October 12th,
Okay.
that the program comes back. We've been to a number of productions at Playhouse 22, and they're fantastic. We really, our participants have a great time at that program.
Community players are very supportive of our program, too, and we thank them for that.
Yes, it's been an excellent relationship.
Good.
The following week, we're off to the Meadowlands and off to the races to see the horses, and anyone can partake of the activities at the Meadowlands if they like. That's usually a full bus, so book early.
Book early, for sure.
The next program is our scary program. On Friday, October 26th is our Halloween dance, and I haven't really picked my costume yet for this year. I was Ronald Reagan in the past. That won't go over too big this year. But we really come up with some innovative costumes that people there just really impress me. Each year they come up with things that I would never think of.
Now this program is going to be a jointure with the ARC, is it not?
That's correct. It's the South Brunswick ARC.
Right.
We're going to be working with their staff and in their hall.
Wonderful. That's great.
Really looking forward to that. The next week, which it brings us to November, we have a karate demonstration, self-defense class, and it should be very interesting. A number of our participants have requested that, so it should be interesting, and who knows, maybe they'll, after seeing this demonstration, get involved in one of the classes. Next, we have an exotic animal show, as seen on Johnny Carson. The gentleman brings a variety of rare and exotic animals from all different continents of the world, and that's always exciting and sometimes a little bit scary, too. We close our program by going back up to Meadowlands to see a Nets basketball game, and we're hoping they'll fare a little bit better this year than they did when we went to see them last year.
Think positive, James.
That's right. A couple
Okay.
good draft picks.
Well, that sounds great, and we just hope that everyone out there that knows someone, some adult 18 or older in a challenged population, give the Recreation Division a call at 390-6797, and we can fill in any of the questions that you have and have all of our people have a great time. We're really happy with the program you're doing, Jim. Thanks.
Thank you. You know, we're so thrilled with this program. We're already looking ahead to 91 in the winter program, and I believe we might even have some dates on that.
Well, we do, and very quickly, January 4th, 11th, and 25th, February 1st, 8th, and 22nd, and March 1st and 8th. So that will be the first in our 91 series of sessions. So we're planning ahead, and next time we do a tape, we'll just give everybody what we're doing on those particular dates, all right? Have a great day, everyone. See ya.
Bye-bye.
You are watching a man have a heart attack.
Mom, your breakfast is ready.
He's hoping it's nothing, but he knows the signs.
Hi, gang. Here's your salad.
Oh, thanks, sweetie. Thank you.
Hey, you joy?
And now is the time he should be getting help. Getting to the hospital at the first signs of an attack can save your life.
Better get me to a hospital.
Remember, your life is in your hands.
If you enjoy a good game of golf, you'll be interested in the upcoming Mayor's Annual Scholarship Golf Outing. The event, started last year by Mayor Jackson Agra and Finance Director Lou Neely, will be held on Wednesday, September 19th at the Tamarack Golf Course on Hardenberg Lane. This event is sponsored by the Township of East Brunswick and raises money for the Mayor's Scholarship Fund. Unlike other charity tournaments, 100% of the proceeds go directly to giving the children of East Brunswick the opportunity to attend summer day camp, child care facilities, after-school child care, and other recreational programs. The children who benefit might not otherwise be able to participate in these programs without the scholarship money. If you're interested in participating, the cost is $60 per person, and that includes greens fees, a golf cart, and lunch. The field of players is limited to 72, so register early with the East Brunswick Finance Department. To register, send a check for $60 to the Scholarship Golf Outing, Finance Department, P.O. Box 218, East Brunswick, New Jersey, 08816. And happy golfing!
An interview with the Dean of Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, Dr. Norman Edelman, is featured on September's Let's Talk Health. Here's an excerpt.
As far as clinical programs are concerned, are there certain things that you focus on?
Yes, there are a few things that we focus on and that we're very proud of. We have a very strong Department of Family Medicine. We have the only academic family medicine department in the state. The other schools of UMDNJ do not. This department is dedicated to training sophisticated family practitioners for the state and have done so quite successfully. The department, one of the department's outstanding characteristics is their interest in the medical educational process. And they have continually done interesting experiments in how clinical education is delivered to medical students. They've developed some unique models, and they really are the mainstay of our program for students with regard to teaching them how to take care of patients outside the hospital, so-called ambulatory care medicine, which, as you probably know, is getting much more important as hospitals now just house the very, very sickest patients. More of medicine is taking place outside the hospital.
Now, I noticed when I was reading in your literature that there's a shortage of family practitioners. Why is that?
Well, it's hard to say. The medical profession is complex and the reward systems are complex. I think it's fair to say that the high technology specialties are much more rewarding in terms of financial reward, in terms of prestige, sometimes even in terms of regulation of hours. So that family medicine, general internal medicine, just appears less attractive to people who, doctors after all, are human, and they want to earn good incomes and spend times with their family and be in prestigious subspecialties.
So what specifically do you do to attract people into the program?
Well, we have a fine faculty. We have bright, articulate, committed people, and they provide role models. And I think that's probably the key. I think when our students see our family medicine faculty, they get turned on. And that's one of the things that leads a relatively high percentage of them to decide to train in family medicine. But it's an uphill battle, and nationally the percent of medical students going into training in family medicine has declined over the past few years, and we're experiencing some of that too.
For more on programs and services provided by the medical school, tune into Channel 8 next Thursday night at 7:30.
A long-awaited renovation is taking place at the East Brunswick Public Library. The front doors, after several years of use, are worn and are being replaced this week. It's estimated that the original doors were used close to 1.5 million times each year in recent years, thus wearing down most of the hardware. Both sets of doors, the inside and the outside, are being replaced with doors from the Ellison Bronze Company of Long Island. The McKenzie Group of Kenilworth, the contractors on the project, began work on Monday and are scheduled to complete the renovation by Friday. What this has meant to patrons and staff is the minor inconvenience of using the side entrance of the building near the meeting rooms. The new doors are Ellison brand balance doors and are very simple to operate. These doors were chosen to help make the library more easily accessible to disabled patrons. Money for the doors came from Community Development Block Grant funds. The design should make entry and exit to the library extremely easy, so stop by the library next week and take a minute to try out the new front doors.
Hi, this is Karen Burke again, and I'm here to just give you a quick update on the Daisy Fall Fashion Festival, which will be held at the Ramada Renaissance on October 3rd at 7 p.m. As you know, the BIC supports the Daisy Recreation Program by scholarships, paying for trips, various equipment, air conditioning, etc. that we need to support the program. And this is our way of saying thank you and assisting them with selling the raffle tickets this year, and also by promoting the sale of the tickets for the dinner at the fashion show. The raffle tickets this year are $50 a piece, and it is a 50-50, with 1,000 tickets being sold. And what that generates is about $12,500 for the first prize, $5,000 for the second prize, $3,750 for the third, and so on down to $1,250 for the fifth. So if $50 is a little bit too steep, you know, join in with a few friends and pool your money and buy a ticket and support our kids at the Daisy program, and come and enjoy the fashion show. You'll have a great time. As a sneak preview, you may want to know also that we're unveiling some of the footage and some of the interiors for the new Daisy expansion program. So plan that night now, October 3rd, at the Ramada Renaissance from 7 to 11, and the door prizes will be pulled exactly at 10 o'clock as usual. If you have any questions, call me at 390-6797. We have the raffle tickets and the dinner tickets at our office for your convenience. So see you there and at the event. Take care.
Mike Opaleski, Director of Public Works and Water Resources, and Assistant Director Gene Crummy presented an introductory overview on plastics recycling to the Township Council Monday night. They made several general suggestions, including the recommendation that certain plastic items be added to the Township curbside pickup of recyclables. PET, or soda bottles, and HDPE, or milk and water bottles, were targeted as the items easiest to pick up and most marketable. Recycling of these plastics will cost the Township an estimated $170,000. Opaleski and Crummy recommended that a program be phased in the next year, and emphasized the need for a county recycling center constructed and operated by the Board of Chosen Freeholders, which would provide needed recycling services for all 25 Middlesex County municipalities. The County Office of Solid Waste has considered such a center and is supporting the idea. In an interview Wednesday, Recycling Coordinator Crummy said that the recommendations were based on an understanding of the need for resource recovery and in the interest of reducing use of the landfill. The State Task Force on Solid Waste, commissioned by Governor Florio, recently recommended that municipalities raise their rate of recycling from 25% of the total waste stream to 60% within a period of 5 years. East Brunswick currently recycles about 18% of its solid waste. Residential compliance rate is good, about 80%. At 50%, compliance by the commercial and industrial sector needs improving. Public Works is gearing up for the fall leaf collection. The leaves from last year's collection, spread and turned on 10 acres near Edgeboro, have broken down into compost and have been pushed into one neat pile Crummy refers to as black gold. This compost will probably be used as cover material for the landfill. This year, residents will be encouraged to bag more of their leaves. Bagging accelerates the collection program, which will begin the last week of October. Also at the council meeting, Ronald Murphy, an employee of the Public Works Department, was honored for heroic actions.
Whereas, on May 24, 1990, during the course of the normal workday, Ronald Murphy, an employee of the East Brunswick Public Works Department, observed a motor vehicle accident on Merrill, and whereas, due to Mr. Murphy's swift actions, he was able to extinguish a fire in the car and see that 2 passengers were removed safely and expeditiously before emergency personnel arrived on the scene. And whereas Mr. Murphy's disregard for his own personal safety was instrumental in saving the lives of these 2 people. And whereas this demonstration of self-sacrifice should not go unnoticed, it is therefore be resolved, the mayor, the Township Council of the Township of East Brunswick, and the County of Middlesex, on behalf of the grateful community, do hereby commend Ronald Murphy for his quick thinking and actions during the course of events on May 24, 1990. Be it further resolved that this resolution should be spread upon the minutes of the Township Council of East Brunswick, and a copy should be formally presented to Mr. Ronald Murphy on the 27th day of August, 1990.
Welcome. I'm Doug Halverson, Director of Consultation and Education at the Middlesex County Mental Health Clinic. This is the 5th in our series of sessions looking at current issues in the treatment of alcohol problems. Our guide for this series has been Dr. Barbara McCready, Acting Director of the Rutgers Center of Alcohol Studies. Dr. McCready, thanks for being here. Barbara, what are some other options, or what are the range of options for treating alcohol problems other than some of those that we've discussed in the preceding 4 in the series?
Okay, I think that it's important to go all the way back to the first part of this series when I talked about the range of problems that people have. And I think that what's most important in terms of looking at treatment is thinking about matching the treatment with the kinds of problems a person has. So when a person's trying to decide what's the right kind of treatment, they should be thinking for themselves, how severe is my problem? How much am I physically dependent on alcohol? How seriously has it affected my family? And those are the kinds of questions that the individual or the family should be asking. When they can answer those questions, then they have a whole range of options available. Some people decide to change on their own and do that successfully. That's not something that the alcohol field talks about a lot, but we do know that some people can say, I have a problem, I need to do something about it, and they can do that successfully. Some people get involved with support groups or self-help groups such as Alcoholics Anonymous, or family members get involved with Al-Anon or Alateen or groups for adult children of alcoholics. And they don't go to any kind of formal treatment. They get assistance by being members of those groups and being with other people who've had similar kinds of problems. Some people get involved in outpatient counseling, and that counseling or therapy may be as an individual, where they just meet with an individual therapist or counselor and talk about their own problems, get someone else's perspective on them, different ideas, different skills for dealing with their problems. Outpatient treatment can also be in a couples format, as we spoke about in the, I think it was the 3rd part of the series. Or it can be in a group where there's a professional therapist who's helping members of the group, but people also are getting support and help from each other. There are more intensive approaches to treatment. There's something that we call intensive outpatient or partial hospital treatment. that means a person lives at home and sleeps at home, but gets several hours of treatment, sometimes every day. So they may come in during the day from 9 to 3 and go home, or they may come in the evenings after work from 6 to 9 or 6 to 10, 3 or 4 or 5 nights a week. So that option in terms of treatment allows people to continue to function but get very intensive help. And then there's traditional residential or inpatient treatment where a person actually moves into the treatment program and lives there for a period of time that may be 2 weeks, maybe longer than that. Traditional programs in this area usually are 28 days, but we're even now having more kind of flexibility in terms of the lengths of inpatient treatment that people receive. And then there's more extended long-term treatment for people who, it's usually for people who've had more chronic problems or who haven't been able to successfully change even with all of the range of treatment that I've talked about so far. And the extended long-term treatments are usually in halfway houses. So you may have gone through intensive treatment as residential treatment or intensive outpatient treatment and then move into a halfway house. And you work or go to school or do something that's vocational, but you're living in an environment where people are want to be sober and are working to help each other with being sober, and there's professional therapy as well, and usually involvement with self-help groups. And then finally, very similar to a halfway house, but a little bit different, are Salvation Army type programs, which are often for people who have been homeless and have, the people who've really lost everything. And those may be very long-term programs where you work and live and, get the kind of long-term support to get your life together. So I think people really have an incredible range of options at this point. Treatment's offered in all sorts of different kinds of settings, from hospitals to clinics to other kinds of community settings, and a different level of range of intensities of treatment. And I think that it's most important that people get involved in a treatment that seems to fit for them. And if it doesn't, that they know that there are other options, that they can go to more intensive treatment or less intensive treatment.
So there's really a continuum then, ranging all the way from maybe 1 session a week all the way to intensive inpatient treatment. Dr. McCready, thanks for leading us through this series on treatment of alcohol problems. For further information, you may call Dr. McCready's department at 745-8688, 745-8688. I'm Doug Halverson. This concludes our 5-part series on issues in alcohol treatment. Thanks for watching.